This is a moment.
Yeah. All my music lovers stand up, man. Let me tell you how it came up.
Hey guys, welcome to another fun-filled episode of Moments with Dallas. Hope you guys are doing well. I've missed you all. I actually tried doing an episode a while back on May the 4th, but some really crazy stuff went down. I wasn't able to do it, and I just haven't had a chance to since then. So I've missed this, and I love you guys all dearly. And yeah, let's get into this. Right, so this episode is actually going to be a little different. This is actually an entry into a contest done by a guy on a YouTube channel called The Amazing Murphinator. Kind of a cool name. He's the comic book guy, and basically what this contest is I show off a minimum of 10 of my favorite comic book covers that I have. And so that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys some comics that I have. They're some of my favorites that I own, and there's like backstories behind some of these. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. And Amazing Murphinator, I hope you like this. Check it out. Oh, one more thing. I'd like to thank We Love Comics for showing me the contest, and I also like to thank Excalibur Comics for providing me with most of my comic books. I'm going to put some links in the descriptions down below to show you guys what we got. All right, so the first one I want to show you guys is actually one I just got today. It is the Dark Knight 3 by Frank Miller, based off Frank Miller. And this cover art's actually done by Andy Kubert and Klaus Janson. And this cover to me is just, this is awesome. Like, this is what Batman should look like, in my opinion. This is what, when you draw Batman, if you want to draw him epic and dark and brooding, this is it. I mean, it just shows you who Batman is, the strength behind him and the mystery and everything. So great job on this one. I haven't actually read this book yet. I have no idea what's going on with it. I've purposely stayed away from the media, from knowing what's going on, because I want to be surprised with the direction they go with the Dark Knight series. So this is pretty cool. All right, so this next one is Batman and Robin, issue 18. This is part of the Requiem story arc. If you guys hadn't been keeping up with this a couple years ago, this was a really intense series. Robin actually died. Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne's actual son, he died. And so they did this thing called Requiem, which was really kind of a story arc walking Bruce Wayne, Batman, through the stages of grief. And this book was awesome. This was probably the best one out of all of it. There are absolutely no words throughout this entire thing. It's the last panel. You have 2 paragraphs, which are a letter to Bruce right before he died. And it is, ooh, this book is heart-wrenching. And if you get a chance to read this, I might do a video later just reviewing this book, because it is such a beautiful piece of art and story. And again, no words at all until like the last panel. It is, guys, I'm telling you, this is absolutely gorgeous. And the cover art is amazing. I feel like this cover really encapsulates what's happening in Bruce. And in this story, Bruce is trying to deal with what has just happened, the loss of his son, and he's kind of ignoring it. He's put himself into his work. And in this artwork right here, it just kind of shows the loneliness of it and just the determination he has. And you can tell that he's just he's running from the issue at hand. So great book, issue 18. This artwork was actually done by Patrick Gleason and Mike Gray and John Kautz. And I mean, I love this book. I don't know how else to say that. So great job on this one. All right, so this next one is Green Lantern Special, issue number 1. This is from 1988, and it's done by Todd Smith, the cover art. And I like this one a lot. This one is dealing a lot with some social issues. I like it when comic books really speak to social issues, when they're not just some story that's going on in the background, but they really try to touch the heart of what's happening in society at the time. And this one was just really intense. This was actually a gift from my mom years ago when I was a kid, when I first started getting into comic books. And just the imagery, that's actually Jon Stewart's hand. That's not Hal Jordan's. And it's just, again, this was a really great storyline. And I like the center focus of the ring and the hand, and the crowd behind them calling out, saying, look, we need unity, we need equality. And it was just a really, really intense story. So check that out. Green Lantern Special, issue 1. All right, so this next set is actually 4 issues that I wanted to show you guys. I'm having problems putting it up on the screen at the same time, so I'll do a couple panel cut shots here in a minute. But this is actually Batman Superman. This is at the start of the new 52, and this is issue 1 right here. And this cover art's done by Jay Lee, and this is beautiful. I mean, this is gorgeous artwork right here. This is kind of this painted feel to it. And the first 4 issues were absolutely stunning and beautiful. The artwork all the way through, the storyline, and I just really liked the feel of these artworks. So I'm going to show you a couple shots of the next several issues. So here we have the last one, issue 4. Again, this was a great, just a great set of artwork and cover art. I really liked this kind of painted feel. It gave it a different feel completely to everything I've really seen of Batman and Superman together. And so great job, man. That was legit. Okay, so this next set of comics that I'm showing you, they're actually in a binder. I started doing this about a year ago, where I was putting them in sleeves and binders. It was just better for storage for me. This one right here, Batman issue number 259. I really enjoy this one, and the artwork on it is pretty cool. I like it. It's done by a guy named Nick Cardy, and you recognize a lot of his stuff. He did a lot of stuff back in the day. But what I loved about this issue, this is more about the issue for me, because the Shadow's in this, which I really found interesting. The basis is that the Shadow was actually trying to save Martha and Thomas Wayne from getting murdered, but he got there too late, and the guilt kind of followed him, and he kind of followed Bruce, and in the storyline, he and Batman actually meet up. So it's pretty cool. I recommend you guys check it out. Again, it's not a big thing, but for me, as a fan of the Shadow and the old school kind of noir storylines and the radio dramas with Batman, this is a no-brainer for me. So that's a really cool one for me. Okay, here you have Nightwing Annual number 1. It was done by a guy named Joe Chiodo. I can't pronounce his name. I apologize. Chiodo something. I probably butchered it. I'm sorry. But I love the artwork on this cover. It kind of goes back to the old pulp comic books with this art style. And again, this was part of this was the annual, and they did this little crossover thing. I wouldn't say crossover, but they did this event where they did what they call Pulp Heroes, and they did Batman, Superman, several other ones, and they all have this really cool old school pulp style artwork on the front. And this was actually one of my first comic books when I was a kid, and so it means a lot to me. I'm a big Nightwing fan, always have been, but so this has a lot of sentimental value besides just gorgeous art on the cover. All right, this next one is Uncanny XMen, issue number 38. Now this one is, means a lot to me actually. This was probably the very first comic book that my mom ever gave me when I first started getting into collecting comic books. Like, she bought this for me, it came in a bag, and she got me a book to learn how to take care of comic books. And this was just absolutely like thrilling to me to have one this old. This is from like the 60s, guys, the 1960s, and you have the Blob, the Avenger, you have the X-Men fighting him, and it was just a really cool issue. And I like this old style art, I really do. I know some people nowadays are like, I don't really like it, but these guys really worked hard. I mean, the pencil to draw it all, they had to ink it by hand a lot of the times. There wasn't a lot of like what we have now, where guys are on their tablets and they're doing Photoshop and everything. They had to work a little extra harder to do this. Not saying the guys who work now aren't doing hard work. They do amazing stuff, but I just have a lot of respect for these old artists from back in the day. And this one's actually done by John Romita and Dan Adkins. So great job on that one, guys. All right, so this is Convergence issue 2 with Ivan Rouse, Joe Perdo, and Peter Stegerwald. Again, I'm butchering these names and I apologize. And it's probably not right because these guys are all amazing artists and I appreciate them so much. But this was probably one of my favorite covers from the Convergence event this past year. Because what you have is you got Thomas Wayne in the front, and then you got Bruce Wayne from another Earth meeting. And it's just a really cool moment for me. I like the idea of Thomas as Batman meeting his son and realizing that his son and him, they took similar paths in these opposite universes. and it was just a really cool story to read. But the artwork of itself is pretty cool. You see this moment where you know Bruce is going, what the heck, who is this man in my cave? And you got Thomas in the front, and he's trying to think through, what do you say to your son, who, to him, you've been dead all these years, but to you, he's been dead all these years. What do you say? And so there's a lot of thought that I feel like that went into this cover. I may be overthinking it, but again, I just thought this was a really beautiful and wonderful piece of art right here. All right, so these are my last 3 parts of this, and these are actually from the 0-year event that Batman did, or they had in the Batman series. Greg Capullo, he did all the artwork for this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first started getting into the New 52 Batman, I wasn't impressed with Greg. Just being real with you guys. But I've grown to really like his stuff. I really like his art. I like how he takes things. I like how he lines things out. I've really grown to really appreciate what he's done. But these 3 cover arts, now granted, the entire 0-year storyline, love all their artwork, it's great. But these 3 cover art were my favorite out of the whole story arc system. I like the simplicity of it. I like just the fact that it brings an epicness to the story. When they publish these in the graphic novel, I hope that they use one of these 3 as the cover for 0-year, because they're just awesome. So again, check out the rest of them because they're really great artwork, and the storyline's really amazing. If you haven't read 0-year, you need to check that out. So yeah, those are my entries for this little contest. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Moments with Dallas. Amazing Burfman here. Hope you enjoyed my entry into your contest, and I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Peace and love.